What's going on, everybody? Josh Engelman here for OddsShopper.com, back again with the PrizePicks picks for Monday, February 27th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. You got to be following me on Twitter, at Josh Engelman. You'll get extra stuff throughout the day, potentially even more PrizePicks cards, especially on a day like tomorrow or Wednesday when we have monster slates. With a 4-gamer here, we shall see. Yesterday's results are on the screen. Unfortunately for us, 2-2. We lost out on Rudy Gobert, which I think probably would have looked pretty good just based on what we saw out of Naz Reid, but 2-2. I liked the Sabonis over in assists. I figured pairing that with De'Aaron Fox would work well, but it turns out Sabonis and Fox just both dominated. If you guys can figure out why Anthony Edwards didn't make a single free throw yesterday, I would love to hear it, but we're going to put that in the rear view mirror. Let's get away from it. Let's get to the 5 best plays for today. Let's kick it off right now. We start this one off with Jonas Valanciunas, and we're taking the over here. The line on his points is set at 14.5. I have it at basically 17.5. And this one's pretty easy to me. Larry Nance is out today. We've seen Val play 30 minutes or more in his last 3 games. I don't think the line represents the situation that's happening here. They don't really want to play Willy Hernangomez more minutes. At least I don't think that they do. That's more of a DFS discussion than what we're looking for here. The normal backup center for the New Orleans Pelicans just isn't here. And in those situations, we normally see the starter pick up an extra minute or two. But even in this case, it just seems like they're playing Val a little bit more. Either way, 14.5 points doesn't make a ton of sense. You can go do any one of these other props. The PRAs, the points and rebounds, points assists, they all look really good because I think in the whole, Val is just being under projected, and that's what you're seeing here. So over 14.5 points for Val. Get that quickly. I think we see this one move up a little bit today. Over on points in the first one, under on points in the second one. That's going to be for Jimmy Butler. Now, I know that doesn't probably feel like something we want to do, but the line is set at 21.5, and I have him at 19.8. So it's not a giant under, but it is an under nonetheless. It's not a fantastic matchup just in the grand scheme of things. Taking on Philadelphia, low total. Both teams have solid defense. Obviously, Joel Embiid anchoring that Sixers D. The only thing that gives me real pause here is the fact that Jimmy Butler is incredibly spiteful and probably wants to have a big game against the Sixers. That doesn't factor into my analysis at all. I just think that he is overrepresented in this spot. He doesn't tend to play a ton of minutes. He just kind of sits in that 33-minute a game area. And we don't really see him get those 36, 37, 38-minute a game performances like we see from so many other stars. So I don't really love the matchup other than the fact that Jimmy Butler has ties to Philly. I just think that the number is slightly too high. It looks like we might have Kyle Lowry back as well. They're starting to get a bunch more bodies in. We do have Kevin Love, who has the ability to do things offensively. He certainly doesn't have the ability to do things defensively. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen now in Miami, and I think that just sort of limits Butler. If you don't want to take this, I totally get it, though. If you believe in that narrative going to Philly, by all means, leave this one out. Next up, we have Julius Randle, and this one I just don't totally get. I think we're just grabbing value while it exists. So his assist prop is set at 3.5. I got him projected for 4.5. This season, he's averaging more than 4 assists per game. It's not like his playing time or role or anything is changing. The matchup is fine. That's not really why I'm looking at this one at all. I mean, it's a matchup against Boston, but you expect a competitive game. No Jaylen Brown as well, so even more competitive. I don't really have a lot of color commentary here for this one. It just looks like if this line were set at 4, I think it would make a lot of sense and I wouldn't have any interest in it. But the fact that we only have to get to 4, we don't have to, like, that hook isn't a push here. The fact that it's set at 3.5 just makes it so much easier that I want to take advantage of the value now. This is a line that should be at 4 on the dot. I assume they're just trying to avoid any sort of pushes, but it's too low at 3.5. You'll even see this in the betting markets. It would probably just have like a decent chunk of juice on the over at 3.5. But since there's no juice involved here on PrizePicks, we don't have to worry about that. So we're just going to take advantage of it while we can. Over 3.5 assists for Julius Randle. Book it. This next one's fun for me. I enjoy rostering this guy in DFS, and I'm going to enjoy taking this prop. That's going to be Mark Williams over 9.5 rebounds. I got him projected for 11.5. It's a fantastic spot. We saw him show out this past weekend. Massive day. His best game as a pro for sure. He's an incredible rebounder, and there's no reason that shouldn't continue, particularly in this matchup. Hornets are taking on the Pistons. Look, the Pistons are awful. It's possible Bojan doesn't play. He's their clear best offensive player. No Jalen Duren in this one, so it's going to be like Bagley, Wiseman, Beef Stew. Killian Hayes can't make a shot to save his life. What I'm trying to say is, this is going to be a game that's up and down, big-time pace, terrible talent, though, in most places. I think there's just going to be a lot of missed shots over and over again. That benefits Mark Williams to a large degree. I gave him 29 minutes for the day. Could play slightly more if things are going well for Williams, if there's no foul trouble. Ultimately, I love this game environment. I love the idea of him pulling down a bunch of boards. I think the only limiting factor here is foul trouble. So long as he's not in any foul trouble, I have a hard time seeing him not get to 10 rebounds in this spot. This one feels like the safest prop that you can get of anything that we're going to look at. Normally when I say that out loud, it's an incredible jinx, but we're going to put that on paper for right now. Mark Williams over 9.5 boards. Now I need you guys to do two separate things. If you're watching this video and you still have never signed up at PrizePicks, this piece is easy. Link in the description, click it. Head on over, make a deposit. They're going to match that deposit up to $100. That part is just simple. And you want to do that too. If you can scrounge up that 100, I highly recommend it. Always take as much free money as you can. This is the same as like a 401k match at your employer. Always put in as much as you possibly can. Free money is the biggest return that you're ever going to get. Now, once you do make that deposit and sign up at PrizePicks, here's where I think I could help you out. It's on the screen right here. Pick'em Pro is the package. SCORE is the promo code, but there's a link in the description that'll help you out there. You'll get 50% off your first week. It's like a $9.95 package, which means that it's less than $5 for this first week if you use that promo code. And it's going to give you, using the projections that we have at stokastic.com, it's going to give you win rates for every single one of these props that you're seeing at PrizePicks. So you can save yourself a ton of time. Just check out the table. It sorts. If prop X is 87% to win, it'll just be there. You can head right over to PrizePicks, click it, and add it to your card. It's that simple. Again, it's on the screen right here. Very, very easy to use, and it's going to cost you the same cost that it would if you wanted to go get a latte at Starbucks. Next up, we're taking another free throw prop. This time we're taking the under on Josh Hart. The line is set at 2.5. I only have him at 1.5. Now, he has slightly increased his free throw rate since he's come to New York, but in the 5 games he's played for the Knicks, he's still only averaging 2.2 made free throws per game. It was at 1.7 when he was at Portland. Even if you want to just say that it's 2, let's just go with that assumption moving forward. He can make his first 2 free throws, and that's great. He's got to make the third, and that's the one that's kind of crazy to me. Right now, he is shooting 3 free throws on average in New York. It was 2.3 in Portland, but let's just say that he's even shooting 3. He's got to make all 3 of them. That is a not high likelihood here. It's also possible that he just doesn't close this particular game. They have the ability to go to RJ Barrett in that closing lineup. They have the ability to go to Emmanuel Quickly if they want to as well. So it's not a guarantee that he even gets that 26 minutes for today. Could just be a blowout in either direction as well. So I'm going to take the under on Josh Hart's free throws prop. Maybe we're going to get one of these free throw props right for once. Under 2.5 free throws made here for Hart. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it. Picks are on the screen. Make sure you're hitting that like button, by the way. Helps me out a ton. You see them right here. Joe Val, over in points. Jimmy Butler, under in points. Julius Randle, over in assists. Mark Williams, over in rebounds. And Josh Hart, under in free throws made. The card is in the books. Again, make sure you're following me on Twitter at Josh Engelman. Good luck tonight with all of the props that you hit on PrizePicks. Make sure you're signing up using the link in the description. We're back again tomorrow doing it again. Let's win some money, folks.